I'll do it really fast too. I'll make it quick. I'm not gonna just like make this a long one. I'll play the whole replay on ×4. Or I'll do it ×8 in the beginning, but I'll do it ×4 in a second. Alright. So yeah, Cordos in this map, they can spawn anywhere, not in tournament versions, but in ladder versions they can, so it's a little bit scary to expand first if you don't know what's going on. If they don't scout you first, you can usually throw down your first hatchery, because they might be going, no matter what they are, one hatchery first is usually okay unless they do like a fucking cannon rush, but then if you see a pro come in just trying to defend the cannon rush with their drones or whatever. But anyways, whatever. I scouted him first, my overlord, so I knew what he was doing, so I took a third right away. I saw he went for a forge fast expand, and he didn't open up gateway first. And I just made drones up to like 40 supply-ish, like 45 supply. That's usually around the time when I want to throw down my gas. 40 to 45, somewhere in that region. And then, my music is loud. I'm not even listening to it, so. Okay, whatever. So yeah, I'm just injecting, blah blah, whatever. Here comes my gas, really soon. I'm around 45. Gas. I'm still scouting with my lings. I lost my first 2 lings. That was bad. I didn't mean to do that like shitty like that. But I lost my first couple lings. But that's why I made more, to just keep poking. I want to see how fast he upgrades his forge. If he doesn't upgrade his forge at all, that like right here I scouted again, no forge upgrade, that makes me think he's going Stargate, so I scout him to make sure he's going Stargate, or he could be going DTs. Like, if he goes for a forge upgrade, that could either, like a really early one, that's probably gateway pressure. If he goes for a later one, that's probably like an immortal timing, or if he just doesn't chrono the forge at all, but he has it upgraded the whole time, that's also probably immortal timing, or it could be a third. But this, like, when he doesn't touch his forge at all, that usually hints at fast tech into something else, or it could be, like, Stargate or DT are the most common. And then, so I make spores as soon as I confirm it's Stargate. And now my thought process is, okay, I'm going to follow up with this scout in a minute here. He's probably going to go into fucking Colossus, and he's already got the Stargate, rather than just going mass muta at this point, because we're close spawn. I'm not going to, like, I could easily be like, oh, I'll base trade you if I go mass muta, and I'll just try to win that way, but I don't really like that specific scenario in close spawn situations. Like, we're right above each other. Like, we're fucking vertical. So if we were cross spawn, I might have gone for more muta, or I might have gone for muta anyways in the first place. But he also decided not to take his third. So I was like, fuck muta. I'm just gonna go right into foremost because I'm gonna throw out my infestation pit, and then I'll confirm it with an overseer, and then I'll start making foremost. So then I just made my infestation pit, and yeah, he's pretty sloppy with his units in this game. I don't know why. But right there, I just scouted that he was going for Colossus as well. So I was like, okay, he still doesn't have a third, so his third's either going to be really fucking late, or he's going to all-in me off 2 base. So that's why I make a bunch of drones here, and I make a bunch of, like he's going to make 15 drones, and I make a ton of spine crawler, because I'm expecting an all-in. And as soon as I scout him, I'm like, oh, he's actually going for a third. And this army is really odd. Like, I did a lot of damage to it, and I was not expecting that. And I denied the third for the first time. I was like, okay, I'll take that trade, I guess. I don't really understand, but... And then as soon as I denied his third, and I realized he was going for a third right there, I denied it, and I decided, okay, well, I already have my spines up, why don't I just go take a fourth now? Because if he attacks into my third with all these spines, I'll still hold, even though I invested money into the 4th base. No problem. And now I'm making Swarmmost, because now I killed most of his Phoenix, and I know he's transitioning into Colossus, and again, like, I feel like he was drunk this game or something, because he throws away a few units that aren't needed. And he has like weird positioning sometimes. But just in general, the thought process is like, I saw he was going for a third, I killed it, now I know he's going for a third again since he has an attack already. Like when that Colossus came into Suicide, if his whole army came in with that, I would be like, alright, here comes the all-in, no third. But he decided not to attack me, and now I know he went for a third. So I saturated my 4th. And then I built spines and spores at it, just in case he did like Zealot or DT counterattacks at it or whatever. So I wouldn't have to deal with it later. And now I'm just gonna like it. And he warp is in my main, which I didn't really expect. But I dealt with it. I only lost like 5 drones. And then yeah, basically I just keep whittling. Like if you look at this, look at the resources lost. Every time I like watch the minimap, or I'll just actually move to my camera myself. Every time my Locust Wave goes, watch, he'll just lose more resources every time. And this is free for me. Like, he can't really push into my Swarmless and my Hydras aren't here because I have a static defense wall that'll stall for me. And every time my look type goes out, I keep killing like a few hundred resources and shit. There's another way. And then now I send a little Hydra squad out to go. Like, I have an Overlord here. You'll see it in a second. Where the fuck is it? Yeah, look, this Overlord right here. I'm upgrading Overlord's speed right now. So it's gonna fucking kick in here eventually. Or soon. But this Overlord, just like, it's rather than scouting every point in the map with Hydras individually, I'm like, fuck it. This one Overlord right here, he's gonna check. Like, I'm taking this base too, but he's gonna check this base, this base, this base, this base, like all these bases, the whole left side of the map, and then I blindly send my Hydras up. Like, it's not a lot of Hydras, it's 9 fucking Hydras, it's not my whole army. I send these Hydras blindly up to his base up here, while I'm sieging his base over here with Swarmless, because I'm kind of assuming he might, if he has a 4th base going up right now, I could probably deny it with these Hydras, but if he doesn't even have a 4th base going up at all, then I know that I'm in a fucking amazing position because he's getting destroyed by the Swarmless push from this side. And there's no way that, like, with these Hydras out of position, it's not that big of an investment. That's 18 supply. It's not like with missing those 9 Hydras, his little army over here could be like, oh, let me just counter fucking push your shit over here and kill you. Even if you went around this side, my creep would spot this immediately, and I could just be like, Swarmless, up burrow, and send a Locust Wave up here this way. And then I could move my Spine Crawlers up here, forward. And then he'd be, like, trapped. I could even move my Spine Crawlers over here, and he could be trapped between Locust and Spines. And he would, like, my Locust would push him outwards into the Spines, and he'd have to run through Spine Crawlers. Like, shit like that. And then I could even make more Spines over here again. So then I'd have Spines here, and Spines here again when I remade them. Stuff like that. But anyways. Yeah, that's why I sent these Hydras out. I wanted to scout for a possible 4th, and he's actually taking one. That was perfect timing. And then, yeah. Go back to my vision, and go. And then now, like, again, keep watching the units lost. Every time these Swarmless push, it's just more shit dies. Now this time the next actually dies. And that's pretty huge. That's like game. And then, my Hydras, his upgrades this game were 3 weapon, nothing else. And so, like, my upgrade on my level 3 weapon hasn't started yet. That's actually a little sloppy. I've had Hive for probably like 2 minutes, and I haven't even started the upgrade. That I should have started it, but I guess I'll blame it on the fact that I was on the phone, so I wasn't playing perfect. But anyways, like, I should have started the +3. That was a mistake. And but this is really nice. My only exposed base. I guess this base is exposed too, but it just started. But my only really exposed base is my 4th. It's the furthermost out, like the furthest out base away from my push over here. But it's completely covered by Spines. That's fucking 7 Spine Crawlers at this base and detection. So like a 10 Zealot warp in or like a few DTs warp in wouldn't do shit to this base. But then if you ran DTs into like my natural, like my main, I would have detection, but I have no Spines. Like usually around like the 20-minute mark, if you're doing this kind of a build, you probably want to just throw down a couple Spine Crawlers and a Spore at every single one of your hatcheries, because a lot of Protoss in late game, like once they realize, oh, okay, we're splitting the map here, and we're doing the creep spread push like this shit, a lot of Protoss will be like, let me just make DTs and send them all over the place and try to kill some of your economy. So if you're prepared for that, you have Spines. Then, yeah. Look at the clock, and if you ever realize you don't have Spores and Spines against Protoss, and the game is kind of like, you're both playing kind of passive to a point, just make static defense of your bases, because a lot of Protoss, like I said, they will transition into it. But if you guys are like fucking fighting and losing everything over and over, you guys are just like fucking destroying each other, you probably won't have enough money for DTs if you guys keep remaxing a Gateway, Robo units, or Stargate or whatever.